Okay, right. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry that my video's late. Let's get that out of the way real quick. Work has been really sucky. I've suddenly gone from doing like no hours at work to doing so many hours at work that it's killing me. I think we managed it fairly well last week, so we may as well leave things as they are for the time being and just change things as and when it's necessary. Daniel, you found a new cider bar. Great. Visit methinks. Before your birthday, perhaps. Also, when do you move? Because I was wondering about that, actually. With regards to the boomerang again, I actually had a flatter one that in fact did come back. Hang on. A flatter one that in fact did come back, but I lost it over 40 Hall. The older one, doesn't come back. I didn't give up drinking. Oh, I was drunk when I wrote it, for the love of God. And Lent, do you know me at all? You mentioned the tags on audio files when you download them. That's so annoying, isn't it? I can't understand why people don't get me when I say that really pisses me off. But my iTunes folder needs to be, like, properly done, or I go mad. That may seem sad, I don't care. You mentioned DVDs, about how they can never justify charging the amounts they do. And I worked it out, right? 100 spindle of DVDs is 20 quid, which works out 20p per DVD, right? 100 DVD cases is £15, right? So one case, 15p. So that's 35p. Add 5p for, say, the bit of paper you have the cover on and the ink to print it. So that's 40p, a completed DVD. Now, okay, we're not talking about the actual film itself, but once that's all put on, right, say that we're just talking about the DVD, even with the costs of making the film, you can never ever justify selling something that costs you 40p to make for 20 quid. Not even 5 quid. You know, you're looking at maybe 3 quid a DVD, and still, that's kind of pushing it. That's still like over a 600% profit margin. That's insane. That's more than you get on furniture. Fiona, do you hold her together with anything? Or do you just hope among hope that she doesn't fall over every time you slam a door? I admit that in hindsight, my comment about the amount of beers drunk was wrong, and that you were not, in fact, drinking to excess. Owen, your ukulele looks awesome. It's a shame you're not enjoying it, and I kind of encouraged him to buy it, Carla. So, sorry, Owen. I actually download more now that I'm using my neighbour's connection, because they no longer have a download limit. I'm very grateful for that. Although, they have actually started using their internet when I want to use it, so it does slow my download speeds a little, which I think is very inconsiderate of them. I am very grateful for it though, and on that note, let's talk security. That's what I want to ask about this week. If you don't password lock your wireless internet, you're a fool, and you deserve whatever happens. My neighbour, for instance, has so little security on their computer or connection that I can tell when they plug their iPod in, right? And I can move the stuff around on their iPod, and I can print to their printer. I'm not going to, because that would give away the fact that I'm using their connection, but still, dear God, people. That turned out to be more of a story than it did a discussion point, but there you go. If you have anything to add, anecdote or otherwise, add. Oh, and you little git. We all know it was Mr. Moore. Why did you cut your video off? Oh, that really pissed me off. Talking about cats, animals. Carla, was it you who brought that up? I can't remember. But anyway, someone brought animals up. No, it wasn't. Was it Daniel or Daniel? I think it was Daniel. No, Owen! It was Owen! Aha, yes, it was definitely Owen, because he mentioned outlandish animals. I have a tortoiseshell cat, Atlanta. I've had many cats, despite the fact I don't really like them very much. Atlanta had a sister, Winona. She died in a puddle of her own sick. Lovely way to go, by the way. We can all aspire to that. Before that, I had 2 cats, Puss and Boots. Puss jumped off an 11th floor window when I used to live in a flat. The body was never found, so I guess she's technically MIA rather than actually dead, although she probably is dead considering this is like 12 years later. Boots decided to kick the bucket after being made into a pancake courtesy of a truck. My nan and granddad had 2 dogs, Scamp and Scruff. I bring this up because Scruff was bought when I was born, and thus I was understandably quite upset when he died. Oh, when you mentioned rabid dogs, no, I think that, like, the kinds of dogs that people breed simply for aggressiveness, it annoys me. And then they're surprised when they bite small children and they have to get them put down. Use your common sense, people. On the other hand, stuff like snakes, tarantulas, weasels, monkeys, I think they're great. If you have the resources to keep them and keep them safely, and for the animal to be happy, I think that you should be allowed to keep them. I actually mentioned in my blog, and I'm sure at least Owen and Daniel noticed, that I did intend to do a couple of different things with my video this week, but I haven't had time. I might do a video Friday morning with regards to that. Okay, I actually didn't have time to continue, so I had to wipe stuff from my camera and continue. Only thing I've got left to talk about is the afterlife, so let's go. I'm glad, Daniel, that you asked about the afterlife and not about religion, because they are two very separate rants, even though they can be, like, combined when needs must. Hands up, I actually don't know. Same as I don't know for certain that I'm sure about religion, but I believe that when you die, you're dead. It's fairly simple. The soul is a human invention, and there's no such thing. When your brain stops working, you die. You can't be alive without a living body. Carla, if there's no afterlife, what's the point of living? What? That is insane. That's one of the most stupid things you've ever said. And let's be perfectly honest, Carla, you've said some very stupid things in the time I've known you. You wouldn't be motivated if you knew you were going to stay dead when you die. At times, right, you come across a fairly intelligent person, and then you come out with something completely ridiculous like that. What the fuck are you thinking? There's nothing longer in life than life. Once your life ends, that's that. But you're safe in the knowledge that aside from a couple of turtles that live for 200 odd years, that there aren't any animals on Earth that live any longer than you, okay? Unless you die of, like, some horrible, horrible illness, you're probably not going to die until, like, well into your 80s or 90s, and with advances in technology, potentially even longer. And you're bothered that you don't continue living after your, say, century is up. I don't think that even needs a rant attached to it. That sort of just explains itself. If there was such a thing as reincarnation, the world would be even more overpopulated than it already is. Sorry to break it to you, but this person that you met with your mother is either A, a liar, or B, mentally ill. Either way, I do not recommend spending any time with them where it's avoidable. Who judges souls? Magic. Reincarnation is just an insane way of thinking. You die. When you die, you die. There's no such thing as a soul. You can't live on in something else. You just die, okay? Memories are held in the brain, okay? This person who talks about reincarnation is an idiot, okay? You can't remember your past lives because memories are held in the brain. When you die, your brain dies, okay? So even if a soul was real, you don't continue to have memories after you die. You just die. Life is a journey, and then it ends. That's it. I'm done. I have a feeling that the afterlife rant is going to continue well into next week, but I figure I don't actually have time now. So, I'll see you guys next week.